Hi folks, and welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I've been talking about the potential for World War III for the last few days because of the Biden's policy changes, stuff going on between Russia and Ukraine, but now it's kind of hitting a new level. It's not just possible World War III, but possible nuclear war. And I know a lot of you probably are rolling your eyes or saying, yeah, that's unlikely. But I don't think it's as far-fetched as what we might think. To kind of recap things, in the last couple of days, Joe Biden gave Ukraine full permission to use American long-range missile systems to strike inside of Russia. France has also supported that, and a few other countries in Europe are jumping on the bandwagon and saying, yeah, go ahead. Shortly thereafter, Vladimir Putin signed a new decree in Russia changing their nuclear weapons policy, stating that any country that uses conventional weapons against them that is supported by a nuclear weapons country, then it's all fair game. It's fair game to use nukes. And this morning, Ukraine fired at least six ATACMS long-range missiles into Russia. And so everything's a little on edge right now. Word is coming out of Russia that nuclear weapons could be used at any moment against Ukraine because of this, that this was a red line that they were told not to cross, that the West was told not to cross, and yet they have crossed it. So it puts Russia in kind of a predicament. They've called Russia's bluff. Is it a real bluff or is it a real threat? And so now we sit back and we wait and see what happens. Does this just escalate conventional weapons back and forth? Will Ukraine strike again? Most likely. And if that continues to happen, at what point could we potentially see nuclear weapons used? This is I believe, a very serious situation. Now, it's not something that I'm losing sleep over and worrying because, well, I'm prepared, but I think it's a very real possibility because, as we've all said, at least most of you, that the deep state, the globalists, they're going to do everything they can to disrupt things and to cause a world war. And maybe it finally has happened. I think if you remember back, especially before Kamala took over the race, when Joe Biden was still the candidate, there was talk then of giving Ukraine permission to use long-range missiles into Russia. And I'm pretty sure they held off on that because of the campaign. They wanted to not look like they were starting a war. Well, now they have nothing to lose, right? They have a couple of months and they have nothing to lose. And so they're going to see just how far they can take things, I guess, before Trump takes office. And they've escalated things quite quickly. If Russia uses a nuke against Ukraine or even parts of Europe, I understand that's not directly affecting us, meaning that it's not a nuke hitting United States soil. So will it be that big of a deal? I think it will be, because it'll be the first time in history, well, at least since World War II, that nuclear weapons, then it was atomic, have been used, period, in an offensive way. And I think it will change a lot of things. I think many people, not all, but many people will kind of go into a panic. They'll kind of set up and realize that, wow, this is real. You could see protests here in the United States. Russia could once again become in the crosshairs of being the bad guy. For so long they were, and then that kind of faded, and then Hamas attacked Israel, so then they became a bad guy. But I think we could once again see some strong hostilities. Now, it's unconfirmed. It could just be made up, as many things are online, and I get that, but I felt it was worthy of sharing. But supposedly, within Russia's plans to potentially, not definitely, but potentially use nuclear weapons, of all the possible targets that they have, 14 of those targets are on U.S. soil. I mean, that's a big game changer. Is it possible that the United States could actually be struck with a nuclear weapon because of this? If this continues, I think it's possible. Not likely, maybe, but I think it's definitely possible. Russia right now, I know a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, they don't want to disturb the United States." You know, boy, we're way bigger. Right now, Russia is considered to have the biggest and most experienced military. Maybe not most advanced, but most experienced military in the world. You have to understand, you know, they're veteran fighters over the last couple of years, and most of the frontline U.S. troops are not. You know, it's been a while since we've had an active war where, other than maybe certain special operations type units and stuff that are doing things around the world, but in large part, the vast majority of the frontline military that we have are untested. And we've gone through 4 years of watering it down and DEI and all that kind of stuff to our military. So and on top of that, we've also been sending massive amounts of our weapons to Ukraine, to the point that there has been great concern over the last year that maybe we may not have enough to truly defend ourselves in a direct attack. So I'm not 100% confident that the United States military is really ready for a full-on confrontation, even with just Russia. And we all know that if it gets to that point, it's not going to be just Russia. It's not. I would say the floodgates would be unleashed, and we'd be facing probably North Korea into South Korea, maybe Guam and Japan, Iran, possibly against Israel, and who knows? Who knows if China will make their move against Taiwan and maybe even us. Things are tense right now. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think because there's been, this has gone on so long between Russia and Ukraine that most people have lost interest in it. And they've grown tired of the possible possible escalations. I can't talk this morning. To the point that they're not really paying a whole lot of attention to it. And maybe this will be nothing. It's possible that nothing will come of all of this. But I just don't think that's the case. I think we need to be serious because, again, NATO, the West, Russia, Ukraine has kind of put Russia into a corner. You know, they're saying you don't do this, and if you do, we'll retaliate in this way, and now they've done it. So are they going to retaliate in that way? Or are they going to look weak and back down and make some excuse? Russia's not known for that. And we need to be ready for this. Already, this morning, stock market's gone down considerably. Early trading, pre-trading. Gold is shooting up. Silver is shooting up because the world in the financial markets have paying attention to this, and they're a little nervous. And not saying that we should be nervous, but we should be paying attention. We should be getting things ready. You know, you've had a vacation the last couple of weeks from all of this hype and drama. Now it's time to get back in the saddle and get serious about making sure that you're ready for when these actions could happen. And the way things are going, they could happen quite quickly. I mean, these missiles from Ukraine against Russia were launched within 12 hours of Joe Biden giving official permission for them to use them. So things are moving quite rapidly, and we need to be ready for that. And there's other things going on. There's these 2 cable lines that were cut up in the Baltic Sea area. Germany has already come out and said that they believe that they were intentionally cut, that this was no accident. You know, things are escalating. And it's not just that we're headed to the direction of World War III, we're headed to the direction of nuclear war, folks. And that's something that, while most of us have thought about and prepared for and role-played in our head, I think deep down inside we always thought it's probably not going to happen. And it may still not happen, but it's definitely becoming a more likely scenario. And we need to be ready for that. This isn't something to play around with. Because when those first nukes drop, even if they're not all over, even if it's just one, it's going to cause the whole world to pay attention, and it will change things. The world will change in that moment. And you and I need to be prepared for that. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.